I feel like I'm going insane. This package arrived for me. I just had to laugh because I unintentionally am dressed like the main character from Shields of Sparrow. So they were like, okay, you're on your own. We helped you and you left. And now she expects them to come, and I just feel like she is so entitled. What? Okay, I have to read that again. Every chapter is getting crazier and crazier and crazier. Get it through your head, they're not coming to save you. Not even like that big of an agent. Like, you're not really that girl right now. And she kind of thinks she is. This might be a copy and paste of like every other fantasy that's out there. I'll be honest, like I find her kind of annoying because that could take her down a very dangerous path. I would kind of love if she kind of became the very thing she hated. The FMC Ren has like the worst luck. Like things are just getting worse and worse for her. I needed to clearly get that off my chest because that was just driving me insane just now. To be an amazing opportunity for her as well as the organization that she secretly works for. Okay, fine. Okay, fine, I'll leave you alone. Not like other girls, you know. So here it is, Silver Elites, and I didn't realize this, but it has sprayed edges, as mentioned, and whined and complained multiple times. So I could see how her decision making could lead to her ruin and the ruin of the people around her. Cora, can you turn around? Cora, can you turn around? Cora? Cora, can you turn around? Can you say hello to the camera? Cora? Cora? Okay, fine. Okay, fine, I'll leave you alone. It has been so rainy and miserable these last few days. I've been inside, cooped up. I feel like I'm going insane. So I am going to go to the bookstore. And honestly, because I'm also basically very basic and someone who loves to jump on a bandwagon, I will be buying Silver Elites. And I can't remember the second book. It's another book that you see all over Bookstagram and Book Talk. I'm gonna probably buy both of them if I could find them at the bookstore. So let's head off. So I ended up getting a ride home because it's been raining cats and dogs since this morning. It's like 7 o'clock and it's still raining nonstop. So I ended up taking my mac and cheese home with me. It is bacon mac and cheese and it tastes so good. This is the first time I've had it at that place. I've seen the signs for it like every time I go there and I'm always like, I want to try that, but I never do. And this was the first time and I'm so happy. It was so good. Okay, so last sentence, possible answers, and then, okay, so work like kind of like midway, bottom, top. Okay. Good morning, everyone. So last night this package arrived for me and I am super excited because I know what it was. If you saw my reels or my shorts, you know that I went to the bookstore for Silver Elites as well as Spears of Sparrows, I believe, and they didn't have either of them. and I felt like a fool. I left empty-handed, so I just ordered it online, and one of the books is here, so let me show it to you. Oh my goodness, so gorgeous. This is Spears of Sorrows. Look at that cover, and even better, look at that. My goodness. Well, let me show you the naked cover. Sorry. I mean, this book is just so beautiful. And then I guess I'll show you the end papers. Sorry, that is covering. Take two. So yeah, I am excited. Silver Elite is supposed to be arriving today. So and sorry for my appearance. I usually, I love a fashion moment, but it has been rainy and miserable these last few days. And I am just going to be hibernating. I'm just going to be in hoodies and being comfortable because I'm going to be inside, and I'm just going to be writing and reading. I still have beach reads. I was reading I've read a fair amount yesterday, and I'm hoping to be done either by Sunday or Monday. I'm not a fast reader, but I'm hoping to be. I'm halfway through the book. And then I also want to obviously begin Silver Elite, as well as, I keep forgetting the name. I don't know why. Shield of Sparrows. I want to begin both of them. These are two books that are everywhere right now. And especially for Silver Elite, with the whole who is the author thing, and everyone has an opinion on the book. So I want to see for myself. I mean, it's kind of funny, people always make those jokes about FMCs that are not like other girls. I'm exactly like other girls. I want to be into the things other girls are into. So if the other girls are talking, about these books, I want to be in the know. I want to know, are they worth the hype? I want to, I have FOMO every time I see people talk about them and rave about them or get really upset about how bad they are. I want to know, am I going to like this? Am I going to hate this? Am I going to think it's okay or overhyped? I want to know. But yeah, that's what this weekend is basically going to be about. So I think right now, I'm just going to finish my breakfast, and then I'll probably read some more beach reads. And some point today, I will begin Shields of Sparrow, and I'll give you a little updates on how I feel about the beginning. I'll also begin Silver Elite once it comes in. I'm really excited. I don't really know what to expect with Shields of Sparrows, because I've seen people talk about it's starting to become a big thing. I kind of avoided seeing too much about it, so I'm kind of going in blind for that one. But for Silver Elite, I've heard that it's supposed to be similar to Divergent. I never read Divergent. I read Chosen Ones at the beginning of May, and that's my first Veronica Roth book. But I did watch all of the movies for Divergent, so I do have an idea about what Divergent is. So I will be able to tell if it's kind of similar or not. I read Shatter Me a few months ago, and I liked it. I bought the rest of the books. And then, it kind of made me feel nostalgic for dystopian novels. And now with the new Hunger Games book coming out came out 2 months ago, I guess, and now everyone going crazy about Silver Elite, I'm hoping that we're kind of having a renaissance of dystopian novels. We'll be back into that era that we had with the Hunger Games and that type of thing, where everyone was into at the time, I guess YA dystopians. I'm hoping we have that again, because that was a good moment. The movies, the books, the fandoms. I'm hoping we have that again. I love romantasy, don't get me wrong, and I think Silver Elite is supposed to be kind of both a romantasy and, I guess, dystopian. But yeah, I love romantasy. I'm currently writing a romantasy book, but I also love a good dystopian. So we'll see if it lives up to the hype. Fingers crossed. So my plan was to continue reading beach reads and then read Shields of Sparrows or Silver Elite later on. That didn't end up happening. Of course, being the mood reader that I am and having, this brand new book, I started immediately reading oh my god, Shield of Sparrows. I don't know what it is with me in this title. I'm going to obviously continue reading Beach Reads sometime later on today, but I was too excited. I had to begin the new book, and I'll be honest, the first 2 chapters didn't really hold my attention. I was kind of like, I don't know about this, but chapter 3 has made up for that. It's pretty good. The ending, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but the ending of chapter 3, not that it was a complete surprise. I kind of wondered if it was going in this direction, but it left a smile on my face. I'm like, okay, the story's starting to get good now. Okay, like literally 2 seconds later, I'm giving another update. So like chapter 3, they're in a meeting. Something was said that is causing everyone to have like a big reaction, and people are like, no, da 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 da. And this one character, the Guardian, just starts laughing. And I'm just like, and he's a character that like no one really wants at this meeting, and he's just like smirking and laughing because he just doesn't care. He's just like, the whole thing is amusing to him. And honestly, like, I don't know if I'm probably not supposed to like him, but honestly, so far he's shaping up to be my favorite. He's a menace, and I like that. Oh my god. What? Okay, I have to read that again. Oh my god, this is getting crazier and crazier. So I just finished chapter 5, and that was probably the craziest chapter yet. Like, I thought the ending of chapter 3 was pretty good. Like, it wasn't necessary, like, it was supposed to be kind of like a sort of like a, not a cliffhanger, like, but kind of like the first big like aha moment. And I kind of saw it coming, but it was still pretty cool. But like this last chapter, I'll be honest, I did not see that coming. Like that this chapter actually shocked me, and like it just got like more shocking as it went along. So I think I'm actually like really enjoying this. Like when I read the first 2 chapters, I was like, oh, this might be a copy and paste of like every other fantasy that's out there. But it's starting to really get going. I like, as I said, the Guardian. I think he's going to be a really fun character. I'm intrigued by the prince. So for the main character, Odessa, I'll be honest, like I find her kind of annoying at times, but I think that now that things are starting to move along and the plot is really starting to, you know, take off, I think I'm probably going to warm to her, but we shall see. So lunch is some chicken and macaroni salad. It's basically Mary Brown's from yesterday, basically leftovers from yesterday's dinner. I love a good macaroni salad, but I am craving the mac and cheese I had at the coffee shop on Thursday. That was so good. They have a few other options. I plan to have those ones as well and try all of them. But yeah, that's what I'm having right now, in like my just water, and yeah, just trying to stay hydrated. So I read a few more chapters outside, and it is really heating up. I'm really liking it. At first, I wasn't sure about the main character. I thought she was kind of like, I thought they might go in the direction of her being like, not like other girls, you know, she likes to get in trouble and she's sarcastic and da-da-da. But I actually think they have a nice balance where she's sarcastic every once in a while, and she does have a little bit of a wild side, but like she's also not a warrior, which, don't get me wrong, I love our badass FMCs who are like, you know, warriors, thieves, you know, great with swords, great with daggers, but like sometimes that's, I feel like I've read so many stories like that. So to have a princess or someone who's also even just her being a princess and not like a thief living on the street or something, which you see in a lot of stories, but she's a princess, she's not the heir, she's not the important person, she kind of feels, you know, like no one really cares if she's dead or alive, honestly. No one, like, she's of no importance. So to kind of see her like grapple with that, but also kind of stand up for herself. Like there are times where she kind of like lets people walk over her, but then other times where she'll like kind of like not want to take people's BS and like kind of like snap back at them. So to kind of see that like inner turmoil of her like picking and choosing her battles, and the fact that like she's not a warrior, that's her sister, she's more like into like art, she's good at painting, drawing, she loves nature, I think, or at least from like she seems to like to spend some times outdoors. So like I kind of like that, and I feel like she has like a good balance of who she is. Like she's not super cold, she has some moments where she like stands up for herself and stands up for what she believes in so far, but also has some soft moments and some moments where she shows vulnerability. And I like that. I like that, like, she's not, sometimes they make the FMCs like crybabies, and other times they go in the other direction, where they're like these like ice queens who show like no emotion and are incapable of like love, as if they're like sociopaths or something. But there's like a good balance so far for Odessa. So as I said, I thought she might be annoying at the beginning, but she is growing on me. So I'm excited to keep going. Later on tonight, Silver Elite is supposed to be showing up at my house. I've been tracking the order, and I will probably read like the first few chapters of that. At some point, I need to also continue reading Beach Reads. I'm halfway through that. I've been loving Beach Reads. This is my first Emily Henry book. Her books are completely different, or I mean, it's only book one, but I had an idea in my mind of like what she wrote, you know, from the titles like Beach Reads, Funny People. I thought it was like cutesy rom-coms, but I'm realizing there's like a lot of depth to her stories. Death. I'm not saying that right, but like there's like a lot. It's not like cutesy stories. It's a love story, but like Beach Reads is not anything like I thought it was going to be. It's really, really good. It's, I don't want to like obviously spoil anything, but I know like I saw something where someone was saying that they think that she should write so like a contemporary like female literature type thing. Honestly, yes, because even like in her romance Beach Reads, there is so much, like the romance is great. It's a slow burn, I'm loving it, but there's also so much other stuff happening in the FMC's life, and I'm just so drawn in everything that's happening. She is taking elements that I didn't think you could put together, like interviewing people who were either a part of a deaf cult or had family members in a deaf cult, a romance, dealing with, you know, deaf in her own family, dealing with lies and secrets, dealing with kind of like losing herself and finding herself. Like she is kind of encapsulating everything, and she's doing it in such like a really, really good way. After Beach Reads, I know I'm going to read all the rest of her books. Funny People. I know she had one that came out, I think, last month called Big Beautiful Life. A lot of people are jokingly just calling it BBL or whatever because of like the initials, but though some people have said that's different from her normal reads, but I'm just gonna look at all of her like backlog as well as the new book, because I'm very intrigued and interested. I know there's like a lot of hype around her. There's a few people that I follow on Bookstagram and Book Talk that like rave about her. But I'm finally seeing the hype for myself. And yes, I am definitely an Emily Henry fan now. I think she has like some movies that are supposed to be come in the works. I'll be excited to watch those movies as well. My goodness, I put this in the freezer a few hours ago. I actually was supposed to drink it like probably like an hour or so ago. I forgot, but you know what? I'm actually okay with that because this tastes so good. It's so refreshing. Honestly, there's nothing better than a cold can of pop. It's like the best. So I think I'm going to take a little break from reading. I was enjoying, I forgot the name again, the book I was just reading. I have been enjoying it, but I think I need a little break because I'm not someone that could read for like honestly hours and hours on end. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drink this pop, probably do a little bit of writing because I haven't done any writing for like the last 2 months because I've been nonstop thinking and studying about the LOQs, which if you don't know, that's for an insurance license. I've been studying for that. The company that just hired me, thankfully, is paying for that, and I'm so thankful to finally be employed again. But yeah, I've been doing that nonstop. So I did do some writing, like a lot of writing prior to my first day of work, but I decided to like put my writing, pause my writing in order to focus on that because obviously I want to do as well as possible. I don't want to end up unemployed again. But yeah, this is probably going to be the first time in like a month or maybe even a month and a half that I've been able to actually like sit down and write. So I'm gonna probably do a little bit of writing. If you don't know, because I don't know if I've actually mentioned that in my last few videos or not, I'm writing my debut novel. I can't speak for some reason. It is a dragon romantasy. Takes place in like the Middle Ages. It's like a mixture between like British sort of Middle Ages, Caribbean sort of vibes. I hope that it's something that's like still fits into the romantasy genre, but still like a fresh take. I'm not gonna say too much, obviously, but I'm on my first draft, and I've been working on it for a few months, and I kept saying like, oh, I'm going to be finished it in January, February, March, and like January I was so sick. February I just had like, the beginning of February I actually did a lot of writing, and then the end I just like started getting writer's block, and then like, I got the new job, and I've been like nonstop doing that. So I want to get back into writing that first draft because I just want that first draft to be done so I could finally say like the story, all of it is on paper, and now I just need to like mold it into, a proper story. So yeah, I'll get back to that. I also have like 2-3 ideas for like novellas that I want to also start doing like more like I'm just doing outlines for those. But yeah, I want to just get some more words on paper. So I'm going to do that right now. Later on tonight, I think I'm going to go to the movies to see Thunderbolts. Again, like last week I went to Sinners, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. So I think I'm going to enjoy this as well. It's funny, like I'm going to movies like back-to-back weeks. Before Sinners, I hadn't gone to the theaters in forever. Because like, again, I was like unemployed. I didn't really want to spend a lot of money. I still don't want to spend a lot of money because I just started a new job, but like, yeah, I'm excited. There's a lot of great films out there. I'm seeing Thunderbolt. I know like Mission Impossible is out. There's also like The Accountant 2. Maybe, some other time in the future I see those. But yeah, I'm really excited. That won't be too much later tonight. So I'll have like a few hours to like write and do other things. So that's the plan. See ya. Hi everyone, so it's Sunday afternoon, and yesterday night my package arrived, so I'm going to open it up and look at my copy of Silver Elite. So here it is. Oh wow. Okay, so here it is, Silver Elite, and I didn't realize this, but it has sprayed edges as well. Like I knew about the sprayed edges for Shields of Sparrow, but Silver Elite has like silver. I don't think it's picking up on camera. I think it still looks white, but it's silver sprayed edges that matches the silver on... Okay, it's not really... Is it picking up on camera? I'm not sure if it's picking up on camera, but like these like lines here, they're silver. No, is there silver on the... No, there's no silver on the side. Silver on the cover and silver... Oh, I think it's picking up now. Silver sprayed edges. So that is very beautiful. It's very pretty. I like the cover. So I will begin this one today. I began Shields of Sparrow yesterday. I've read the first few chapters. It's heating up. It's pretty good. I'm excited to begin this one as well to see what this one has in store for me. And I also need to get back to reading beach reads, so I'll be reading all 3 today. So last night, as you saw, I went to the movies. I really enjoyed it. I saw Thunderbolts and it was really, really good. I didn't really know what to expect because I know like people have been kind of trashing Marvel as of late. So I wasn't sure if this was going to be like a really good film or not, but yeah, it lived up to, I guess, my expectations, or the expectations I would have had for like previous Marvel films. I really enjoyed it. I know like yesterday I said that, after I drank like my root beer, I was going to do some writing. I didn't end up doing that at all. I didn't write because the ideas just weren't coming to me. So instead, I kind of just did some other things around the house until it was time to go to the film. But when I got home at like 11:40, 11:50, I was in the mood to write. So I did a fair amount of writing until like, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. I was shocked. Usually I don't like to write like super late at night, but like the ideas were just flowing at that time for whatever reason. And yeah, so I did some writing last night. I did a little bit of writing this morning as well. I haven't done any reading. I don't know. I wasn't in a reading mood this morning. I was more in a writing mood. So I wrote a little bit. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do is maybe I'll read a little more beach reads. Then I'll read a little more of Shields of Sparrow. And then, I'm holding it backwards. And then, get into this one as well. And once again, I have my root beer that I put in the freezer for a few hours. I love when it's like super cold and like there's a little bit of like ice in it. I love that. Almost like a slushy, not completely slushy, just like a slight slushy texture to it. So I am going to start drinking my root beer and get to reading beach reads. Oh my gosh, I just drank a little bit of my pop. It's like half slush, half like liquid root beer, and I'm loving it so much. It's so good. Like, of pops, like root beer, for North American pops, I think like root beer and cream soda are like 2 of my favorites. And then like I really love West Indian sodas as well. So like there's one called Cola Champagne, Pineapple Pop. I love Pineapple Pop from like any islands. From Barbados, there's one called like Fruity that I love, and there's another called Juicy. Anytime I'm there, love to have those. That's kind of like my thing. I still like drinking other pops too, like Coca-Cola, Sprite, but like when it comes to like root beer and cream soda, I think because they have almost like a like candy, like liquid candy taste. I don't know, there's something about it I just love. So, beach reads update. I read a few more chapters and the last chapter was so good. I want to explain this in a way without giving away any spoilers. So, one of the things that's happening, the 2 main characters are authors and they're doing interviews for this book that one of the characters, for both characters. Because they kind of have a bet, like, where the main character, the FMC, has to write a story that's not a love story. And the guy who writes kind of, like, more, like, gritty, kind of sad books has to write a rom-com. So he's kind of showing her his writing process. And they're going on to, like, interview different people who are connected to this, like, cult that ended with, like, a lot of people being unalived. And what's crazy is you would think that that would not fit into a love story, but it fits so perfectly. Every interview they do, the FMC understands more about this cult and the people in it and the people who were like affected by this cult. But she also finds out more about herself and about the situation that she is currently in. And I think that Emily Henry has done like a fantastic job with this novel. I went into this, as I said before, thinking Beach Reach was going to be like this cutesy rom-com type book. It is so much more than I ever would have thought it is. Not that there's anything wrong with like cutesy rom-coms, but like this was completely different from what I thought it was going to be, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Yeah, so that's basically the update. I'm about 60% through the book. I'm not the type of person that likes to like sit and read for hours on end. For at least not with like one book. Like maybe I could do that with like 2 or 3 books, like going back and forth, but usually I have to take like a break. Same thing with when I'm studying. Like I could study for like 30 to 40 minutes and I have to like stop, take a break, and then come back to it. I can't study for like an hour, 2 hours on end. Like my mind just won't absorb the information. And it's the same thing with books. Like after a period of time I have to stop, or else like my enjoyment will come to an end and I won't really be focusing on what I'm reading. So I kind of read in like little increments. So I read a few chapters. I will probably come back to it in a few hours. I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna do now. I think I'm gonna like stop reading for like a little bit and then either come back to Beach Reads or go back to oh my god, what is with this name? Shields of Sparrows. I don't know why I'm having such trouble with that. Go back to that one. I think with Silver Elite, I'm probably not going to start reading that till later tonight, I believe. Though I am like, it's weird, like I have such anticipation and I'm like super excited, but for some reason I want to hold off until tonight. I can't even explain why I want to. I just do. Plus I want to like eventually end book reads. I've had to read it very slowly because of my studying, so I do want to kind of like speed that up. And originally I was hoping to be done by today, Sunday, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Maybe Monday or Tuesday I'll be done. But yeah, I want to like eventually finish that up and then get a decent way through Shields of Sparrows, but at least start Silver Elite, so I can at least see like, is it beginning off, is, the first few chapters like slow and boring? Is it, starting with a bang? Like what can I expect from that? So yeah, that's basically my plan. I might do some more writing. I'm not entirely sure. Part of me kind of wants to like go out, maybe for a walk or do something, get out of the house. I'm not entirely sure. Because like today isn't really rainy. Finally time. I'm gonna begin Silver Elite. I hope it lives up to the hype. So I'm about 32 pages into Silver Elite. I would say there are things I like about the story and things I don't. I like the fact that it doesn't like drag out, like how sometimes the action doesn't start till like a few chapters in, or sometimes till like the 30% mark or whatever. Like the action starts very quickly. So I do like that. The pacing's pretty good. The only downside I would say is I kind of find the main character a little bit annoying, if I'm being honest. But again, I'm only 32 pages in. That might change. The same thing happened with Shields of Sparrows. I kind of wasn't too sure about her in the first like chapter or two, but then like by chapter 3 or 4 I started to like kind of warm up to her. So it might be the same thing with Silver Elite. I might just need to read a few more chapters, and as the story progresses, I like, there are certain things about her that make a lot of sense. So she's not like a bad written character, it's just that some of her decisions are a little bit I mean, again, I don't want to spoil anything. I mean, I guess like if I was in her situation I might do the same thing, but like reading it, I'm kind of like, girl, you're making a bad situation worse. But we shall see. I mean, the action, as I said, is pretty good. It starts off pretty early and it's kind of like building. So I am still excited to keep reading. I think I'm going to take a little break right now and probably go back to reading maybe like an hour or two from now. And if I don't, then I'll get back to it like maybe sometime tomorrow. But yeah, I'm liking it so far. I still think it's going to be a good book. So I'm at the library right now. I'm going to be doing some studying as well as continuing my read for Silver Elite. This is as far as I've got, so not that far, but even so far, so much has happened and every chapter is getting crazier and crazier and crazier. The FMC Ren has like the worst luck. Like things are just getting worse and worse for her. She recently got arrested and now she has been told what's going to happen to her. She basically asked the guy who's kind of in charge of her now, is this a punishment or an opportunity? And he's like, that is yet to be foreseen. And honestly, I could see how this could actually be an amazing opportunity for her as well as the organization that she secretly works for. But I could also see how this could also lead to her ruin because she doesn't make very good decisions. She's kind of like a loose cannon. She's very reckless and she can be really selfish as well. So I could see how her decision making could lead to her ruin and the ruin of the people around her. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Tuesday afternoon. I wasn't planning to do an update right now, but I'm currently waiting for my work computer to finish rebooting. And in the meantime, in those few minutes, I've been doing more reading for Silver Elite. And Ren, the main character, she just said something that annoyed me. It's not the first time she said it, but like she has mentioned and whined and complained multiple times about how, you know, she's trapped and the resistance isn't coming to save her and they don't care. And it's like, girl, they tried to help you. I'm not going to give anything away, but they tried to help her in a particular situation she was in. She ran away. You know, they had her in a safe house. She ran away to do a specific thing. So they were like, okay, you're on your own. We helped you and you left. But now she expects them to come. And I just feel like she is so entitled, and that's like the big thing that I have against her. Like there are good qualities, like she stands up against bullies, she's kind, she could be, well, yeah, she could be kind, generous, a lot of nice qualities, but like her two big sort of flaws is that she's very reckless and she's entitled. The reckless thing, while it does annoy me at times, I understand that that's just part of her journey. Like every character has some type of flaw, some type of thing that they have to get over, like it's part of their evolution. So I understand like throughout this book, you know, she's going to start off being extremely reckless and getting into like a lot of trouble. And by the time, like I'm assuming either by the end of this book or sometime in book 2 perhaps, because I'm assuming this is a series, she is going to like evolve and mature, and we get to like see that journey of her having like personal growth. So I am interested in seeing that, so I'm fine with that. But in terms of her entitlement, I mean, that's probably a part of the journey too, is like being less entitled and like not thinking that people are just supposed to do things for her whenever she wants them to, regardless of like her own actions, and just like taking responsibility for her own actions. But it's just like, it just bothered me so much that she just did it again. Because I'm like, girl, get it through your head. They're not coming to save you. And it's not because they don't care. It's because they tried to help you and you left the safe house. And you got yourself in deep trouble where it'd be pretty hard to, like where she is right now, it would be extremely difficult for them to like find her and help her without like potentially exposing themselves, and yet she expects them to just do that for her. And it's like, why? You're not even like that big of an agent. Like, you're not really that girl right now. And she kind of thinks she is, because of like, she does have like a certain special ability, well, certain special abilities. And I think that makes her like overestimate her worth to people. And it's like, girl, you're really not, you're not that guy. That's not you. Like, they have way more important things to be doing than worrying about you and your dumb decisions and the trouble that you got yourself in. But yeah, mini rant over. My computer has loaded, so back to work. But yeah, that's just, I needed to clearly get that off my chest, because that was just driving me insane just now. Okay, I said I was done, but I just have one more thing to get off my chest. I do think that it is, while her entitlement does completely drive me insane, one thing that is very interesting though is, like, there is a history of their continent of like primes, which are people without abilities, and mods, people with abilities, hurting each other. So like a prime person may take power and then like, you know, treat the mods bad. Then like there were mods in the past who like took power and then treated the primes bad. Right now we're in the phase of like primes being in charge and mods being discriminated, and she's like against both sides doing bad things. She's like, no one's better than anybody else, we're all the same, we're all human. But she clearly thinks that she's better than other mods, because she, like, you can't tell when she's using her abilities, which is something you can tell with the others. And like, because she's a little bit different from the rest of them, she clearly thinks that, like, she won't admit it to herself, but she is cocky and arrogant about that. So on some level, she does think that she's better than other mods. So that, I think, is actually really interesting. Like, she claims to have this worldview, and I think she truly believes that like, she believes that everyone's equal. But from her actions, and even from some of her thoughts, she clearly thinks that she's like special. Like, she is the one. Like, she is like the best of the mods type of thing. And I think that's where her entitlement and her recklessness comes from, because she always thinks like, you know, I'm that girl, so like I could like do whatever and I could pull whatever off. And, you know, if, you know, people should just go along with the things that I want, and if I get in trouble, like, people should come and bail me out type of thing. And like, I'm so special, like, why doesn't the resistance care that I'm trapped, and da-da-da-da. And it's like, she clearly, on some level, she won't admit it to herself, but she thinks that she's better than the rest of them. And I think that could be extremely interesting to see, because that could take her down a very dangerous path if she starts to like really give into that, like, that entitlement and that like arrogance that she has. She could, and I don't know if this is going to happen, but I would kind of love if she kind of became the very thing she hated. Like, she ended up becoming, like, because she like always talks about this general who runs the continent, who's like this really horrible person. I think it would be like kind of great if it went full circle and she like ended up being like him, like the new general. I don't think it's going to go in that direction. Like, it's probably going to have like, well, actually, I don't know, it might not have a happy ending. It might even go in that direction, and I'd be kind of satisfied, because I kind of like when things are ironic and like things kind of go like the opposite of what the person thinks is going to happen. But we shall see. I just had to laugh because I unintentionally am dressed like the main character from Shields of Sparrows, Odessa. Every day she wears gray gowns. I think it's her stepmother's idea. Like, she makes her wear gray gowns and dye her hair brown. I'm not really sure. I don't know if that's like to make her not stand out more because she's a hater, or if there's another like good reason. But yeah, she wears gray gowns every day. And I'm walking right now. I have a gray like trench coat and gray pants, so like I'm in all gray just like her. And that was not intentional. Like, I own this coat. I've had it for years. I just like love wearing it. Oh, maybe I'm just like Odessa. I just like to wear gray. I don't know, maybe we're both boring. It's Wednesday, and this is going to be my final update for this video. I plan to post it sometime today. So let me just tell you a little bit about each. Silver Elite, I am about like 60% through that book, so I've gone a fair distance. And then with Shield of Sparrows, I'm only about like 25% through it. So obviously I've read a lot more of Silver Elite. Part of the reason, it's not that it's like a better book or anything. Writing-wise, I would say they're kind of the same. But in terms of like the action and stuff, there's a lot more action that happens in Silver Elite. From like the end of chapter 1 going into chapter 2, like things are really taking off, and each chapter it kind of like amps up even more. So like at the end of chapter 1, this isn't really a spoiler for anything that's like important, but like the end of chapter 1, there is a child who is getting mauled by a white coyote, and he's like a far distance from everyone. They're at a festival and no one's like close enough to be able to like run and like get the coyote off him. So the main character, Ren, she basically takes a shot from a very far distance, and that's how the chapter ends. So like obviously you want to go to the next chapter to see like what happens. Like, does she get the coyote? Does she accidentally, unalive the kid? Does she miss completely? Like, we don't know. So there's like that tension, and like I immediately went to chapter 2 to see like what happens, and like each chapter kind of has not always like insane endings or like did someone just get unalived, but in terms of like there's something that makes you want to move on to like the next chapter. And again, this is Silver Elite is taking place on for the most part, well, at first it takes place at her Ward Z, and then like it moves to sort of like a military base where she's undergoing training. So like there's a lot of very interesting things, there's a lot of action. So if you're someone who's into like stuff for military, so let's say you're into Fourth Wing for the military college, or I think the book that this is compared to, if I'm not mistaken, Divergent has like a military setting as well, doesn't it? So if you're into any of like those type of books that has like a military type setting, Silver Elite will be something you'll probably be very into. In regards to Shields of Sparrows, as I mentioned, it does start to heat up by the end of chapter 3, and then chapter 5 there's like a lot of interesting things that happen. Again, it's not like as action-packed as Silver Elite, or at least not at the beginning. Obviously, I'm only 25% through. There's a lot more to go. She has basically, where I'm at, she's left her country and she's basically traveling to another kingdom. And I'm at the point where they're like about to dock at the new kingdom. So I'm assuming like now is one thing. Like they've had some action when they were at sea, but I'm like when they first went at sea, there was an attack and there was like a lot of action, and then it kind of like even out where like not much was happening. But now they're about to dock at a new kingdom, and so I think like things are about to like start heating up now. So what I think I'm gonna do, since I'm like further along in Silver Elite, I think I'm probably gonna like still focus most of my time of just finishing Silver Elite, and then I could focus, my time after that with Shield of Sparrows. I'm not really great at reading 2 books at the same time. Like some people can do that. I'm better at focusing one at a time. So that's why I've read so much more of Silver Elite than Shield of Sparrows. So it's not really, that Silver Elite is like way better than Shields of Sparrow, or Shield of Sparrows. But if you're someone who likes military stuff, a lot of action very quickly on, Silver Elite is probably the one that you would want to read first. But there is a lot of like political intrigue, and there is action that's starting to happen in Shield of Sparrows. So I'm not like writing it off. I'm still very interested to see where the rest of the story is going to go. Now, in terms of, I'm going to probably focus a little bit more on talking about Silver Elite since I'm further along. Now, is Silver Elite like the best written book I've ever read? No. But as I said, it's action-packed. Each ending is pretty interesting. The pacing is pretty well done. So I do like that. So I am interested to see where the rest of the book is going. And if it continues with this type of pacing for the next 40% of the book, I should be, set to read book 2 when it comes out. But I mean, a lot could still happen at 40%. I did watch another YouTube video, reading vlog, where a woman was reading Silverly, and she seemed to like it at the beginning, but then when she got to like the 70% mark, she DNF'd. She said she didn't like it anymore. So I'm kind of like a little bit nervous that that's going to happen to me, because I'm kind of reaching, like, obviously I'm 60%, so soon I'm going to be hitting that mark. But hopefully we'll see. I'm interested. I'm liking it so far. Now, there are some things I don't love about it. Like, one of the things, as I mentioned, the character can be annoying, but I feel like the annoying things, like her being reckless and being a little bit entitled, I feel like that's just part of her journey. Now, if she was entitled and reckless and was getting away with that, I would not like that, and maybe I would DNF. But because she keeps facing consequences, and there have been a few times where people have literally kind of like dressed her down, put her in her place for being entitled or being reckless, I know that, like, that's not something that we're supposed to like about her, and we're supposed to feel annoyed, and we're supposed to hope that, like, she stops behaving that way after a while. So that's one of the reasons where even though I feel annoyed at her a lot and I want to like shake her at times, I understand, like, I'm supposed to feel that way, so that's fine. But one thing that does kind of annoy me, every time she sees her love interest, she has to mention how good looking he is, like, every time, which is not a little annoying, it's a lot annoying. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I understand mentioning it like once or twice, but like every single time it's like, okay, like, we get it. He's the best looking man you've ever seen. He's super hot. We don't like need a description of his body or hearing like how you're like drooling over him, especially in the circumstances that she's in. Like, she is in a Viper's nest right now, so like she needs to focus on survival and not on how hot this guy is. But outside of that, and then there is kind of a lot of descriptions about like a lot of the men being good looking, and I'm like, okay, there's no way she's surrounded by all these good looking men. I don't know, I just find that odd that keeps being brought up, like every single guy seems to be like attractive. But for the most part, I'm enjoying it. Again, not a perfect book, but it's doing the job. And I think I should enjoy it, and I think it should be something that I should want to continue reading. If I had to describe, I thought about this like last night, 2 ways to describe these books. With Shield of Sparrow, I would say it's like a person who does not swim or has never learned how to swim being thrown in the deep end of a pool and frantically swimming for their lives because she is being put in a very dangerous situation, and she is not a warrior. And the last time she had any type of weapons training was like years ago. She does not really know how to hold a sword properly, how to fight, and yet she's probably going to be in many situations where her life is going to be in danger. So that is very interesting to me. And then this one is someone who does know how to swim very, very well, but they are in shark-infested waters, so despite how great a swimmer they are, this is still extremely dangerous, and there's still a very high risk of things going horribly wrong. So I'm interested to see how both books go. Again, only at the beginning of Shield of Sparrow, so hopefully it continues to like heat up and doesn't like kind of teeter off, and hopefully the last 40% of this book is, you know, at least keeping the same pace, if not heating up even more. I think it has the potential to get even better, but it also has the potential, from how some people are talking, to really just kind of, you know. But yeah, that is my update. As I said, I'm probably going to be putting this video up today. I do think I want to maybe put up another video on Friday or Saturday with effort, like hopefully I'll be done, or at least almost done, Silver Elite, so I could like give my final thoughts on that, and I'll be, you know, further along with this book as well to give a more like in-depth description of what's happening. But yeah, that is my final thoughts on both of these books. I hope anyone who's reading either one, I hope that you are enjoying it, and if you're thinking about it, I hope my video has helped you make that decision, either if you decide to read it or don't. But yeah, that's basically it. I hope everyone has a great rest of their week. Until next time.